This is my hot air balloon video. I want to show you what I did to create a hot air balloon. Here's a camp stove that I got at Walmart, probably just a hardware store. Little camp stove. It's going to heat things up. Let's slow this down a little bit. You can see me feeling over the top of this vent pipe. I'm just making sure the air is hot coming out of there. The hot air is going to come up out of that vent there and into the bag. And that's the goal. I want the bag to fill up with those particles of hot air. Okay. So watch what happens. It's going to rise up into the air. I think it's kind of windy, so it's going to blow over to the right side. It takes me a while to get it full of hot air. I'll speed it back up so you can watch in real time. So you can see it fill up with that hot air, and since the hot air is less dense than the cold air around it, it's going to rise up. You probably saw how the bag kind of tilted over to the side and let the hot air out, and so the bag sank to the ground. So I'm going to try it again here. You're going to notice it fills up with hot air. So make it go up, and the wind is blowing this way, so it's going to go over. Flips over and spills out the hot air. Now, this is what we call convection. It's a mode of heat transfer. And it's one of three major modes of heat transfer. The main thing you need to realize is the difference in hot air and cold air. Keep in mind that the air outside is cold. That's why I'm wearing a hat and coat there. But the air in the bag and coming up off of this camp stove is pretty hot. So what you're going to have, let me pause it here, what you're going to have are energized air particles. When I say energized, they're just basically heat has been added. So inside of this, these particles are bouncing around in there inside the bag, and that's what's making the bag expand. All those particles bouncing out. Okay? Since it's less dense, the hot air is less dense and it's inside the bag, it's going to rise, basically float on top of the cold air. So let's see what happens. Real time. I'm going to make sure it gets really full of hot air, and the wind kind of blows it over, flips it over, lets the hot air come out. That was my best one yet. Maybe you can make your own hot air balloon. Just be careful, especially when using a heat source like I was using, and make sure you have some adult supervision.